Today is the 4th of October 2023, and I'd like to talk to you about circles. Okay, introduction. Okay, we've done some work on circles, arc, length, and stuff. Okay, but I want to show you the part of the circle, because if they ask you to find chord or something, what they mean. Okay, before I start, thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos, and please consider sharing, subscribing, liking, and following us. Okay, I'll really appreciate that. Okay, and if the account is not yours, please ask for permission before you do that. Okay, I normally write in the comment section, please follow my notes/script. Okay, so for instance, now we are going to look at this diagram in a bit. Okay, if you are just listening, you wouldn't understand. You need to be looking at the notes. Okay, that is R1, R2, R3. This is a rectangle. Okay, so in case maybe if you hear a triangle, it's not. Okay, yeah, so that is what I really need to say about that, but please, I could use your help on that. Okay, beware of scammers. Okay, they are everywhere, they are doing everything. Don't send your money to someone else and say, oh, we are supporting this platform. I'm not asking for that. Okay, so if somebody come and say they want a donation for something, it is not me. Okay, please don't fall for scammers, because at times they might send you an email. Even they send me emails, oh, you have a parcel and you need to pay postage or something. All those are scamming. Okay, don't fall for it. Okay, the chances are, if they get into your account, they might end up putting you in a lot of trouble, and by the time you realize, they've taken money and you can't even trace it. So don't fall for that. Now, sorry, the recap today, we've been looking at area of combined shapes. Okay, that's what we did last lesson. Okay, now let's look at a couple, and then we'll get on. I advise you to look at last video. Okay, now this is a shape we have here. The observation is 3 rectangles combined. Okay, so because they are rectangles and we need to find the area, our formula for area will be length times width. Okay, now the ones I've circled are the ones we're not given. Okay, we've been told from A to F is 12 centimeters. Okay, and we've been told A to B is 9.5 centimeters. All our units is in centimeters. Okay, so what will happen is, assuming one is in meters, then we have to convert as well. But they've made it easy for us. All the units are in centimeters. Again, this diagram is not to scale. So from this F to E is 3 centimeters, and from D to C is 3 centimeters. Okay, so now I can find this part here, but first of all I'm going to find R1. Okay, so it was easier for me to split it this way than to split it that way. Okay, so now if I take 4.5 from 12 centimeters, this side here will be 7.5. So straight away R1 will be 9.5 centimeters times 7.5 centimeters. So that is my R1. Length times width, 9.5 centimeters times 7.5 centimeters. If I do the multiplication correctly, it will be 71.25 centimeters squared is area to 2 decimal places. Now we have to find R2. We know from F to E, and then we know from E to this side here. So we know the length and we know the width. So now 4.5 centimeters times 3 centimeters, that'll be our R2. So 3 times 4.5 centimeters will give us 13.5 centimeters squared to 1 decimal place. That'll be R2. Then R3 also, it has similar unit. From D to C is 3 centimeters. And then if this length is 4.5, then that length is also 4.5. Okay, so again 3 times 4.5, all in centimeters. So we do that. So to find the area of this figure here is R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we have R1 71.25 centimeters squared. Okay, unit for area is centimeters squared. Okay, R2 is 13.5 centimeters squared. R3 is 13.5 centimeters squared. So if you add up correctly, we have 98.25 centimeters squared. Again, our figure is not to scale. Okay, so that is how we did the first one. Okay, so that is our diagram. Okay, and that is what we got. Now, the second thing we did on recap. So here we need to find the area of the shaded part here. Okay, now it looks like front of a house with a door, or 2 rectangles. Okay, this looks like a square, but it's not quite, because this is 15 centimeters and that is 70 centimeters. Again, not to scale. Okay, so first of all, we'll find the area of the whole shape. Find the area of this part, take it out, and whatever we get will be our answer, because we just need the area of this shaded part here. Okay, so the area of this shape here, the rectangle, will be 15 times 17, all in centimeters. So 15 times 17 will be 255. So the unit of the rectangle, the bigger one, okay, including the unshaded part, will be 255 centimeters. Now we need to find the area of this unshaded part. Okay. Now we've been told from here to here is 17, and from here to here is 5.5. So if we subtract 5.5 from 17, we have 11.5 centimeters. Okay. Now from A to B is 15. We've been told this is 3.5 centimeters. That is 6.5 centimeters. Okay. So if we add 3.5 to 6.5 and subtract from 15, this side becomes 5 centimeters. Okay. We're not given the circle bits. Okay. So now to find the area of this part here, this rectangle part here, is 11.5, which is the length, times 5, all in centimeters. So 11.5 centimeters times 5 centimeters will give us 57.5 centimeters squared. Everything I did on the calculator. Okay, you remember what we've been saying about calculator? If you are writing exams next year, you need to start using it so that you get used to the functions. Okay, because if you start using it the night before, there are chances that you might not know how to use it correctly, because you'll not be allowed to use your phone. So start getting used and acquainted with the calculator. Okay. So now we found the area of this whole shape, which is 255 centimeters squared. The area of this small bit that is not shaded is 57.5 centimeters squared. Okay. Now if we subtract, it's 197.5 centimeters squared to one decimal place. Okay. Okay. So that is the for this part. Okay. Now our starter today, we want to multiply two negative integers. Remember, we did some work on negative integers. Okay, if you didn't start watching, then I will encourage you to go back and watch. Integers are positive whole numbers and negative whole numbers, including 0. And I asked you to put this on your flashcard. If you multiply two negative integers together, you get a positive number. So let's look at some example. This is our starter. So minus 6 times minus 4, you have 24. Okay. Minus 11 times minus 7, you have 77. Minus 2 times minus 16, you have minus 32. You have 32. Okay. Sorry, you have 77 here. Because if you add two negative integers, you get a positive number. So minus 2 times minus 16 is 32. Minus 5 times minus 7 will give you 35. Okay. Minus 10 times minus 3 will give you 30. Minus 7 times minus 8 will give you 56. Minus 9 times minus 4 will give you 36. Minus 5 times minus 5 will give you 25. Okay. So remember, if you have two negative integers and you multiply them together, you will get a positive. Okay. Now today, we want to look at the parts of the circle. Okay, so for instance, if you have a math question and they're asking you to find radius, what do they mean by that? Okay, so it's like introduction to the circle, but we want to look at the parts, what they actually mean. So the first circle, and then you draw the circle with the compass. That is a compass here. Okay, so that's what I use to draw the circles. This is a protractor. We use it to measure angles. Okay, it looks like a semicircle. So if you want half of a circle, you can just trace it around there. Okay, if it's not to scale. Okay, my diagrams here are not to scale. I just wanted to show you the parts that we need so that if you find them in a question, you know exactly what they are asking you to look for. So the first one is the radius. Okay, from the center, and the length from the center to the end of the circle, the radius is the same if it's a circle. Okay, so from the center to the end is called the radius. Okay, now the diameter is from one end of the circle to the other end through the center. So the diameter is like twice the radius. So if your diameter is 4, then the radius will be 2. Okay, so I hope I'm making sense. Now the third one is called the chord. The chord is also the line from one end of the circumference to the other. Okay, but it doesn't go through the center. Okay, so the chord is always lesser than the diameter. Okay, so that is the chord here. Okay, chord as in circle work, not as in music. Okay, 4, the segment. So this line here is the chord, and this area here is a segment. Okay, because the chord doesn't go through the center. So this bit here is the segment here. Okay, that is a smaller part of the circle, is a segment. Okay, now we've done some work on sector and arc length. Okay, we've done a couple of videos on that. So assuming you have a pizza and you slice it from the center, that way this shaded part is called the sector. Okay, and it has an angle theta, and we've done some work on it. So this is a sector. Okay, so we can find the area of this part here if we know the angle. Now 6, this is the tangent, this line here. Okay, it goes through a point on the circle and is always at right angles to the radius. Okay, so it makes 90 degrees to this radius. So this is called, this line here, you could follow my note here now. Okay, this line here, that is the radius. And at this point, if you can draw a line straight, it will be your tangent, okay, and it's always at right angle. So each point you choose on the circle, it will always be true, okay. Now 6, that's 7, circumference, okay, we should know that by now. It's all round the full circle, okay, all round. So the distance from here all the way around, assuming you are traveling and you travel a full circle, it's called the circumference. So if you want to find the circumference of this circle and you are given the radius, your formula 2 pi r, where pi is a constant, okay, will give you the formula, okay. I did show you in one of the videos how to find pi, okay, and I think I would redo it again tomorrow, okay. So you need the formula 2 pi r to find the circumference of the circle. Now you know what an arc length is because we've done a video on the arc length. So if you draw a radius from A to the center and from B to the center, that will be a sector, okay, which I've shown you. But this length is part of the circumference, okay. So that is the arc length, okay. And we know the formula is the circumference, but part of the circumference. So if we know the angle that A and B makes with the center, then we can find the arc length, okay. Now the area of a circle, of the full circle, okay, that is it. And the formula is pi r squared, okay. So today we've done a recap from last lesson. I've brought 2 figures where we saw the combined shape areas, where we showed, okay. Now here we're asked to find the area, okay, which we've done. And then in the second one, they've shaded a figure. We're asked to find the shaded figure, which I've explained. And then for the starter, we've looked at multiplying 2 negative integers, okay, which we've also done here. Okay. And then I've gone on to introduce you to the circle, even though we've done a few to show you the circle, because basically I need you to know this part so that if you see them in a question, you know exactly what you are looking for, okay. So we've seen the radius. I'm going to pause. We've seen the diameter. We've seen the chord, okay, this length here, okay. We've seen the segments, this shaded part here. We've seen the sector, this part here, it goes through the center. We've seen what the tangent is on the circle, which makes a right angle to the radius. We've seen what the circumference is, which I know everybody knows by now, okay. And this is the circumference of a circle. That is the formula 2 pi r. Now this is the area of a circle, the full area, Okay, and the formula is pi r squared, and pi is a constant, 22/7 or 3.142. And then we said the arc length is part of the circumference. So the arc length here is the thick part, A to B. Okay, so I've introduced you to the part of the circle today. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video today, and I'll see you in the next.